Hey everyone, welcome in! Today's video is a little extra special. It's Pride Month and I want to celebrate by building something colourful and joyful, a cozy rainbow island. I'm bi and being a part of the LGBTQIA+ community means a lot to me. Pride is about love, visibility and community, and I wanted to bring that spirit into my little Minecraft world. Sometimes the world can feel a little bit scary, sometimes it can feel a bit unsafe, and something that I love Minecraft for is that it really is just an escape from the real world where you can make your very own safe little world where you can let your imagination run wild. I also wanted to share this art I did a few years ago for Pride. Whether you're part of the LGBTQIA+ community or an ally, I hope this space makes you feel welcome and celebrated. Let's dive in and explore what I've created today. And as always, thank you for being here. Be yourself, spread kindness, and please enjoy the video. And happy Pride! In my very first video, I showed off my world seed and explained why I chose this one. One of the selling points of this seed was that just off the shore from spawn is 3 big islands. I thought it would be really fun to do some themed builds on these islands. Something a bit different than my regular builds, more whimsical and places that really stand out. I have a few ideas for the other 2 islands, but this June I really wanted to celebrate Pride Month, so this island closest to the mainland is going to be my Rainbow Island. So first things first, I've got some work to do with cleaning up the island and then shaping it a bit with some landscaping. I made just a tiny little platform where I can put some chests of all the building blocks I'll be using. I'm also going to repurpose a bunch of this lava to use for fuel for my furnaces, so I'm grabbing as much of that up as I can. There's 2 horses who have been here since I first loaded into the world. I'm going to move them over to the mainland now and then they can live with all my other horses. Just setting them up across the water. They can watch me create my island from here. Back on the island, I'm just smoothing out the land a bit. I do want to keep its original shape as much as I can, but I do want to cover more surface area as well. So I'm going in and adding some different peaks and plateaus around the place. This platform I'm working on is going to be the spot where I want to add in my little tower. I just kind of spam blocks around till I have the shape I'm looking for. I want it to have a very natural look, so I'm avoiding any super sharp or square shapes. Then I'm going to lay out the blueprint for where I want to build the tower, just making sure I've kind of got it in the center of the little plateau. Here's how the island is currently looking. I'm bringing some of my building blocks over so we can get started on the base of the tower. Though I do have Lightmatica installed, I'm yet to learn how to use it, so for now I've just built the tower in my creative world, then taken screenshots of it from different angles, and I have those up on my second monitor. Then I just copy what I'm looking at into my survival world. For the base of the tower, I'm using quartz bricks. I feel like the white blocks will look really nice with all the bright rainbows and give it a nice contrast. I'm building up 7 blocks with the quartz bricks. I actually built it taller in my creative world, but decided to make it a little shorter here. I'm going to use white wool for the flooring. In a recent video, I made a wool farm, so I'm really excited to be able to put a bunch of this wool to use today. I'm going to start placing the coloured wool around. Unfortunately, I didn't calculate the size to make sure it would be perfect all the way around, so there will be 2 red blocks beside each other. But I tried to put it on the corner so it's not as noticeable. In my creative world, I also built this tower out of coloured concrete instead of wool like I'm using now. But I tested out a couple of things and I decided I really liked the texture wool offered over the very flat blocks of concrete. I'm building each layer up. I broke my ankle so many times jumping down each time, even with feather falling boots. Shout out to Replay Mod, which allows me to make these little fun time lapses. I love it so much. Here's how it's looking so far. I'm then going in with a layer of white wool on the top and filling in the roofing with it as well. I really love the sound placing wool makes. It's so soft and squishy sounding, it's really comforting. Outside the white wool, I'm adding in some quartz stairs to cover up the wool, and this will also give the build a little bit of texture as it's quite flat right now. Then a layer of quartz bricks on top of each stair. And on every second block, I'm adding another one. This is just like a classic tower roof. Super easy, and I think it fits the vibe really well for the build. About halfway up, I'm adding this detailing with quartz stairs. And now that's in place, I'm going to add in one of the side towers. Pretty much just a miniature version of the main tower. That's how it's looking so far. On the right side, I made the tower start from a lot higher up, as that's what I'd built in my creative world. Though looking at it now, I ended up deciding I wanted to try have both towers line up at the same spot, so I break down the right tower. This is my creative world, and you can see the tower here was my original plan. I had built the colourful part out of concrete, and the right side of the tower started much higher, which I think is quite fun and gives a magical, like, wizard vibe, but I feel like I just didn't quite get it right, so I'm going to try and align the two towers. Now I've got my 2 side towers laid out, it's time to build those up with a coloured wool. Again, I had to stop and heal with food every few colours because I kept jumping down and hurting my ankles. But I think it's really coming along and looking so cute already. I think doing the side towers on the same level looks so much better. Along the side I've added some quartz stairs. I've just got to copy that over to the other side. Then adding in the roofs for both side bits. Again going in with a white wall for the roof, and then quartz stairs on the side. And unfortunately at this point, it was kind of late in the evening and I confused myself somehow into believing the towers weren't even. I think that probably should have been my cue to get off for the night, but here I am breaking down one of the towers and then realizing that it was in fact not messed up at all. So I shamefully rebuilt it in the rain. And here we are now, build is really coming together. Next on the tower, I'm going to start adding in some supporting for the towers. I'm filling this with dirt because unfortunately I do have limited quartz at the moment. I've been getting all my quartz from my stonemason villages, but since the villager nerf, it feels a lot harder to get emeralds. So building a raid farm is definitely on my to-do list for the near future. I just really wanted to give the appearance that the side wings are well supported to the main tower. Here's how I ended up finishing the support beam. And time to copy that over to the left side. I took a screenshot of the right side and followed it as best I could over here. Just adding in a little porch area with some pale oak wood and stairs. Also using some quartz pillars to help it blend in with the quartz blocks. Going to add these little like lampposts with pale oak fences and a little end rod on top. Gives it some simple lighting but also makes it look really elegant for a front entrance. I really love detailing with end rods. I think I'm really going to have to start making a blaze rod farm soon because I've been using up all the ones I have so far. Next up I want to add in some big beautiful windows. I'm using some pale oak trapdoors on the sides. Almost gives it kind of a bay window vibe and adds a lot of texture to the build. I'm using white glass panes for the window. I did try in my creative world to use some colourful stained glass, but I felt like it took away from all the clean rainbow stripes. For the side windows, I decided just to make them 1 block thin. It looked a bit funny when I tried to do the same design as the middle. And there is our completed tower. I'm going to do the interior later on and I'll give a tour of that at the end of the video. I want to build a huge rainbow over the entire island. I've used this website which you can use to generate spheres. So I just went into the generator. I selected the area I wanted it to cover, set it to 2D mode to get a clear blueprint. Then I took it down to the halfway point to show me the biggest circle. Now I just want to focus on the top half here, which will be the perfect arch, as that's all I'll need for my rainbow. It's really handy as it shows all the numbers along the side. I ended up taking a screenshot of this and adding in the numbers on the other side as well. I highly recommend doing that if you plan on making a rainbow in your world as well. I'll link that site down in the description below. I've calculated out the space where the arches will start, so I'm going to start with our first colour, red. Again, this is all following that screenshot of the arch. This would have been so much easier with Lightmatica, but I'm yet to learn how to use that. I don't know how it happened, but I miscalculated along the way and had to redo the arch a bit. It's so easy to tell I did it in the time lapse, but from my point of view, I had no idea. So I'm just going along and recounting all the blocks. I started the right side again, and even then I made another mistake and had to rebuild as I went along. Luckily I knew this was the first arch and it was definitely going to be the hardest, as this will be the base, and after the first layer is finished, the rest will just be all placing blocks down underneath, so it'll be a lot harder for me to mess it up. Here's a time lapse of me filling in the rest of the colours. I found dirt to be a lot easier to manage rather than scaffolding. I've really just started using Replay Mod to make these time lapses, and they're really satisfying to watch. Seeing all the colours come together is so fun. I did 2 layers of each colour, which I think made it feel a lot softer and made each colour pop a bit more than just 1 layer for each colour. Doing all the layers after the first arch took a little bit over an hour. Felt so good to finally fly away and see the final rainbow. Before I get on to detailing the island, I want to do a little terraforming as the rainbow isn't sitting that nicely on the land right now. So here's a little before and after. This is how it turned out. Just added a bit more land around the base of the rainbow and I cleaned up the sides a bit. One day I'll go around all of the islands and the mainland and fix up all the cliffs and detail the water, but this will do for now. Next step is adding in some big fluffy clouds on each side of the rainbow base. It's not very realistic to have clouds on the ground like this, but I want this island to have a bit of a magical and whimsy vibe to it, so I think it's going to be really cute. I'm just going in with white concrete, trying to shape out the cloud as best I can, and then flying away to see how it looks at a distance. As sometimes it looks really good up close, but then you fly away and it looks super scruffy. And I tried to copy what I had on the right over to the left. So here's how the clouds are looking now. Another feature I want to add in is going to be a little waterfall and stream that leads down to the ocean. I'm just trying out some different shapes, trying to build a little rocky waterfall. Then I'm planning out the route in which I want the water to flow down. Just replacing some of the stone to add some texture and colour. I'm adding in this little pond area which will flow out into the stream. The walls along the stream will be cobblestone on top with a glowstone block underneath to add some lighting. Down here is where the stream will meet the ocean. Now I've got the 7 colours of the rainbow in concrete powder. I really love building with the concrete powder as it looks so much like colourful sand. I'm adding in each colour, giving that rainbow effect all the way down the stream. Then covering all of our concrete powder with stained glass using the same colour glass as the concrete powder underneath. Concrete powder can't get wet or it'll turn into regular concrete, so covering it with glass protects it, but I also think this gives it a really cool effect. With the concrete powder underneath and the glass over it, it's going to look really special under the water. Now to add in all the water on top of our glass. And there's the finished stream. It turned out so cute. Next up is some rainbow mushrooms. This first one is going to be a great big mushroom tree with all the colours. Also, you can see some pillagers down there are enjoying our new stream. We've got a layer of red wool, then orange wool, a layer of yellow, some lime, light blue, finishing off with purple and then magenta. And there's our big mushroom tree. I went in and started adding in another rainbow tree on the left side. Then I'm scattering some smaller mushrooms with all the different colours across the island, making some little clusters and then some just lone mushroom trees. Trying to add small and large ones. Lots of variety. These turned out so cute. I love all the pops of colour everywhere. I feel like they give off such a magical vibe as well. Also going to make some itty bitty mushrooms with an end rod for the stem and a wool block on top. I added in some detailing to the pond, some kelp, seagrass and different slabs. To finish off detailing the island, I pretty much found every flower and plant I could and just scattered them absolutely all over the place. For lighting, I'm going in with some glowstone blocks covered by green carpets or moss carpets. It hides the glowstone while still giving off a nice radius of light, and I think the green carpets also add some detail and break up all that one big block of grass. I also added in some random chunks of different dirts like podzol, rooted and coarse dirt, as well as some mud blocks and mud bricks. I want a whole bunch of rainbow coloured sheep to live on the island, so I want the grass to look like it's been nibbled and munched on with patches of grass missing. I'm also using bone meal along the place to add in some tall and regular grass. I want this entire place to be covered with colour. It may look a little cluttered, but I really love the look of that in gardens and terrain. I didn't want the island to feel too quiet, so I'm going to bring some animals over, a few dogs, cats and birds that live here. I like to have some shepherds live here in the tower. I like to think they look after some super special rainbow sheep, so they sell very pretty carpets, banners and wool products while keeping their herd happy on the island. I'm going to name a couple of sheep Jeb too, so they get that super fun colour changing wool. Once I get more name tags, I'll definitely be adding more Jeb sheep to the island, but it's just going to be 2 for now. As for the other sheep, I'm going to dye them all kinds of colours so the island looks busy with even more colour. The finishing touch for the island is going to be a handful of cute little tiny floating clouds around the rainbow. I'm just trying out shapes with white concrete to try and get the vibe of a tiny cloud. I'll add quartz slabs around the top of it so things don't spawn up here. And then some stained glass underneath with an end rod to make some rainbow rain droplets coming down. There's our first little cloud, so cute! I'm going to add a few more of those around the sky. And here's the final product. And I had to show you how cute it was when a real rainbow appeared in the sky. It looked so magical. But here it is, a super cute, super cozy rainbow island to celebrate Pride Month. I know it's a little bit late in the month to post this, but this took a lot longer than I expected, but I had so much fun with this project. I'm going to take you on a little tour. I've done the interior of the tower, and if you'd like to see how I did that, I'll be uploading a long play ASMR style video of that. The stream has got to be one of my favourite details, especially where it connects to the ocean. I love the rainbow colours under the water. The build feels more complete with animals all around the place. It feels so much more alive. I'm yet to add any shepherds over here, but I'll definitely be doing that in the future. And I'm really curious to see if these sheep will stay here on the island or if one day I'll just notice some rainbow jib sheep floating around the shore. On the inside, I've added a fish tank with some colourful fish, a little shop front for the shepherds to sell their wares. I picture the villagers will take a little boat out to the island to visit, but I think my wool store on the mainland will get their wool from here to sell. I love making up little stories and adding lore to my world. Like these shepherds will collect all this rare, colourful wool on the magical island, travel over to the mainland to sell it in the wool store. It's more fun to think of it that way than how the wool store really has a bunch of sheep in the automatic farms to get all the wool that way. Decorating is my absolute favourite part of any build. I have so much fun going crazy and throwing junk everywhere. And filling empty spaces with little detailing and adding little bits of character to a home. This is definitely the most vibrant and colourful build I've ever done, and it's really got to be my favourite so far, I think. I had so much fun working on this rainbow island, and I want to thank you for being here. Drop a like and consider subscribing if you'd like to see more of my little Minecraft world. Spread kindness, take care of yourself, and again, happy Pride everybody. Bye bye.